very soon, I will be retiring peacefully to start working as a social entrepreneur. Social entrepreneurship is an approach by individuals, groups, startup companies, or entrepreneurs in which they develop, fund, and implement solutions to social, cultural, or environmental issues.
Your teacher Michael Aidera from Nairobi, Kenya.
Jina langu ni Kiswate, ndio mwenza wa Bwana Michael Aidera. Nina furaha sana kujitolea kama mmoja wa walimu katika mradi huu wa Kiswahili.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you all. Right now it is 12 minutes to 2 a.m. Washington DC local time. In Kenya now it's good morning. In other jurisdictions in good evening. We are burning the midnight oil to make sure that Kiswate Digital Academy becomes a reality. So if you are joining my press conference for the first time, my name is Pius Odhiambo. I'm originally from Western Kenya, but I currently live, work, and study in Washington, D.C. in the United States of America. After 11 years of research, self-sponsored research, I'm happy to inform all supporters that Kiswate Digital Academy is almost becoming a reality. And the purpose for today's conference is to explain to my thousands of online supporters how the Kiswate Digital Academy model will be rolled out in our senior secondary schools in Kenya to cut down on the shortages of teachers. Number one, for a school to cut down on shortages of teachers and missed lessons due to unplanned teachers' absenteeisms, also on the high cost of textbooks, the following are the requirements. Number one, they must have source of power, electricity from the main grid, and a backup power, which can either be generator or solar. We recommend solar because solar is green energy and is cheaper than a generator. Number two, the school must be connected to the Wi-Fi internet. They can do that using their own initiative through parents, through well-wishers, asking for help from the alumni organizations. They can also apply for Kiswate for help. They can also ask the Ministry of ICT to get them the internet. Now, number three, the school must have at least 7 TSC employed teachers. The school must have at least 7 TSC employed teachers. Number 4, the school must give Kiswate the letter of authority to digitize their schools. The school must give Kiswate a letter of authority to digitize their schools. Now, having met all those requirements, this is how the KDA model works to reduce teacher shortages in our senior secondary schools. We have come up with an open source app called the Kiswate app. It is already available on web application by visiting any of our 3 websites. You just click on Digital Academy and it will take you to the landing page of the web version of our app. We also have the mobile option version. We have applied for hosting in major app stores, and it is going to be released to the public soon. If you are a member of any of our WhatsApp groups, we have provided a local download link where you can download it to your phone, just like the same way we download the WhatsApp. So you need that app in order for Kiswate to address the issues of uh, shortages of teachers in your school. Now, what will happen is this. Through Kiswate National Transmission Centers, we'll have all lessons for all subjects under the CBC curriculum being transmitted from that center. All schools offering the CBC curriculum in all 47 counties in the Republic of Kenya. So the schools will just need the timetable. We are using the format given to us by the government. And during that lesson, during that format, during that time, you just have to log in and let the students have access to a live digital lesson. Live digital lesson. It therefore means the school must have a digital lab with two modes of teaching. One is the traditional teaching, but in the event that the traditional teacher is absent or they are facing acute shortages of teachers, they switch to the virtual mode. And this virtual mode will take you to the Kiswate Digital Academy Global Digital Educator at the Kiswate National Transmission Center, who is teaching live using timetable that have been provided to us by the government. Now, the reason why I'm having this press conference is the teacher is far, several kilometers away from the student. How will we manage the behavior of the students during the virtual lessons when they are on their own in the digital lab? Now, my answer to you is this. And this is the reason why we want a school to have at least 7 TSC employed teachers. A minimum of 7 TSC employed teachers. Now, we are in a negotiation with the Teacher Service Commission and with the Ministry of Education to add another subject to the curriculum. Just the same way when I was in school, there was a subject called PE, Physical Education, where any teacher, so long as he's a trained teacher, he or she was mandated to teach physical education, whether he's trained on that subject or not. The same applies to social studies. Any teacher employed by Teacher Service Commission could be allocated social studies, whether he's trained in that area or not, to go and teach that subject. And during that time, the model was when you go to class, you spend the first few minutes to teach social studies. It was not even programmed in the timetable. And why was the government obsessed with teaching social studies and making all teachers teach social studies? There was an emerging issue. What was the emerging issue? The emerging issue was HIV pandemic. We wanted our students in the secondary schools at the adolescent stage to be educated. We are required as teachers to create an awareness of the existence of the HIV pandemic. This is why the government did that. Now, at this point in time, the emerging issue is digital education and data revolution. That is what the whole world is talking about. So, just like the same way the government treated emerging issues through social studies, physical health should do through PE. We are calling upon the government, the policymakers, the Ministry of Education, the TSC as a and any other branch of government to add another subject to the curriculum called digital education. Now, this digital education will be taught by all teachers. So, in a staff room, there are those teachers that are really overhead. But there are those teachers that are not really overwhelmed. But even if they are overwhelmed, there is no teacher that teaches from the first lesson in the morning to the last teacher in the evening. He must have like one lesson break or two lessons for planning. And if there are teachers teaching throughout, that is unacceptable. So this is how our technology comes in. Now, during transmission of our lessons, we need teachers who do not have lessons to go and sit in these classes. Anything. They're just going to sit to take attendance using our Kiswate digital attendance and discipline tracking register. And taking that attendance is automated. It takes a maximum of 3 minutes. So that these teachers can be with the students to check on their welfare, to check on their security, make sure attendance is taken, and make sure the students are focused on watching the lesson. etc. among others. And on top of that, if the government can consider them for some small allowance, that will be fine. Now, if we are able to get such teachers or convince the government to give the teachers some small allowance, accept an additional responsibility of being in a virtual class as a digital educator to take attendance and deal with behavior management in the classroom, then the Kiswate global teacher who is on the screen, based in Nairobi, based in Northeastern, based in Mombasa, based in America, based in Canada, based in Nyanza, based Western, based in Rift Valley, based in all parts of the country, will be able to teach as many as 1 million students at the same time, distributed in a 10,000 secondary school. In a 10,000 secondary school. The only teacher we are paying is this teacher on the screen. That's where the bill is going. The teachers who are already employed by the TSA are only getting a simple allowance, if any. Now, people have asked me that this technology will deny teachers jobs. That is not true. The true situation is my technology will create more jobs for teachers. They are willing to learn new ideas. We want teachers to come for our in-service course that will last for 1 year over a period during school holidays and become digital educators. And as digital educators, you will never lack a job. We are telling TSC that this is not the time to hire teachers who are analog. We are telling the universities that the time has come where the curriculum must be structured to include digital education, which simply involves management of digital learning and digital teaching, so that the government can have a pool of well-trained teachers who are digital educators. And with this, the shortage of teachers will no longer be a problem in Kenya and in the rest of the countries in the continent of Africa. Because it's that kind of workforce can be easy for them. Why? One teacher based in one school will physically teach in that school and accept one virtual lesson, or one virtual subject in the school, which is very far away from his station. So this is how this program will turn out to be beneficial to the Teacher Service Commission and the government and the government of Kenya. I teach maths. I used to teach maths and physics. Now, with the retraining, with the change of curriculum at the university and retooling of the teachers, I will choose voluntarily that I'm going to teach maths. I'm going to teach maths traditionally in Station A. But because there's a acute shortage of teachers in physics, I'm going to teach physics virtually in 10,000 stations around the country. Now, when my timetable is being made, during the tool, during the software that we have developed, this teacher is going to be assigned lessons for mathematics in a physical school A and physics virtual lessons at a virtual school B. Fortunately or unfortunately, this virtual school B is Kiswate Digital Academy. And when you are a virtual physics teacher at Kiswate Digital Academy, you will use our app to connect to the National Transmission Center and teach 1 million students distributed over 10,000 secondary schools. Now, remember, the TSC is paying for being a traditional teacher. But for a virtual teacher, we are asking them to give you the summer allowance. And if they cannot give you the allowance, we are all willing through our partners to remunerate you, give you a service, a small allowance for that. Although our allowance cannot be as big as that of the government. How our academy and our model of teaching will reduce teachers' shortages in the Republic of Kenya and eventually in the continent of Africa. Another question that people are asking me online is this. The teachers taught. The students have been taken care of. Those who are taking care of the students have already been given allowance by Teacher Service Commission. It could be like maybe 5% of your basic salary, 10% the same way they give other allowances like hardship allowances, or 6%, that is, depends on them. Now, how will one global teacher grade homework or assignment for 1 million students distributed all over the country? My answer to you is this. This is why we are coming up with what we call dynamic digital textbook. One of the components of dynamic digital textbook is dynamic digital exams, which uses artificial intelligence and an algorithm that have developed myself over a period of 11 years. Now, it therefore means the administrations of test, homework, and exams will be done via a computer system and virtually. Now, another question that people are asking me, will we ensure the integrity of homework? The integrity of homework assignment and test. This is why we have a teacher inside the classroom. We are calling this teacher an assistant class teacher. An assistant to the global teacher on the screen. The teacher will be there to make sure there's exam integrity, to enforce exam integrity. Now, another way of enforcing exam and test integrity is to proctor it. Put a camera, and when you are doing exams, our AI-empowered cameras, if you were cheating, they will just flag you. and even maybe log you out of the exams. So that is how we'll ensure the exams integrity through by physically having a teacher, another a teacher who does not teach the subjects being taught in that classroom, and two, by using technology, artificial intelligence. Now, number three, people are asking me, now, you have solved the issues of students' behavior, management, discipline, control in the class. You have solved the problem of providing one teacher to teach thousands of students in millions of students across the country. You have also addressed the issue that this thing is going to put teachers out of work. Now, I've also answered the question whereby they're asking, will it not be too expensive? Will it not be at what cost? Now, the other question that I need to ask to answer in this press conference is the rollout strategy. Now, this program requires two things: to retool teachers to become digital educators, to retool learners become digital learners. It cannot be done on one day. Rome was not built on a day. It has to be gradual. And our strategy, implementation strategy is as follows. From July to December 2025, we carried out a pilot. We even did a dry run that was very, very successful. Please watch our video on our YouTube channel, Kiswate TV. It was very, very successful. Now, from January 2026 to December 2028, we are going to roll out this program in few selected schools. We have come up with a list of 60 schools comprising of middle schools, senior schools, and elementary school. That's why we are calling it an academy. Students can move from an elementary school to senior school, to junior school, and finally to senior school without stepping out of the academy, because the academy comprises of different schools in different geographical locations. The list of those schools are there on our website. They are on our brochure. We are going to post on our website soon. Now, once we do a full cycle in these particular schools, if the government wishes, they can add us more schools. In these particular schools, we are going to capture the challenges that we are going to face during this one full cycle. Now, after we are done, that is in December 2028, in January 2029, we are going to take another cohort. Remember, students are being admitted into the academy in these schools. January 2026, first cohort. January 2027, second cohort. January 2027, the third cohort. And that is the year when our first cohort is also doing the national exam. So by January the following year, that which is January 2028, we're going to admit another fresh cohort to the first cohort that have finished the circle. So we move with this circle again. And in this circle, what is important is we're going to address the challenges that we face during the first circle and experiment with it and see if the challenges will be addressed. Now, this will take us January 2029, January 2030, and January 2031. Now, the second cohort of the CBC curriculum of the senior school under our program will do exams for the second time. Now, once we have done that, we are going to donate all equipments to the schools, adopted schools. We'll commercialize the idea and move with it to other countries in Africa. So please, if there is still more stuff that you don't understand, about Kiswate Digital Academy, please feel free to engage me through my social media handles. Unfortunately, I only use YouTube for this project. Feel free to to reach out to me through the principals of the adopted schools. Please feel free also to reach me through my Twitter handles, and I'll be more than happy to address your concern. As at now, we are in very serious discussions with our partners, potential partners, and if all goes well, we are going to roll out the program with effect from second term of this academic year. Our engineers have done a fantastic job. Today, we'll be finishing the training of Tier 1 staff that are going to market the Kiswate Digital Academy app. We are also inviting more people to come for training. The training is free and is only 8 hours, 2 hours per week, 4 hours per week, which are done on Saturday afternoon, 5:30 to 7:30, on Sunday afternoon, 5:30 to 7:30. So for 2 weeks. So the training for next cohort begins on February 7th at 5:30 p.m. Nairobi local time. The training is free. We are not charging anybody anything. Even the software is free. It's an open source. It's like Facebook. It's like Instagram. All those. So thank you so much, and be digital because the future is digital.